welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to be sharing with you some items that will be available in October's Hella Handmade Creations shop. If you're not familiar with Hella Handmade Creations, it is a monthly collaboration between a lot of different indie makers. They mostly offer limited edition nail polish or nail adjacent products, but they also offer a ton of other handmade goodies. Makers get to select their own theme, so they get to choose something that inspires them, and they have to follow that theme for I think a minimum of 6 months. So at the end, if you purchase all the polishes from that theme, it's like you have a collection of polishes from that maker. Pretty cool. The Hella Handmade Creations site goes live for shopping beginning on the 14th of each month. So this month that'll be October 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. And then items are always available through the 21st of the month. So this month that's October 21st. The wish listing feature on the site goes up on the 1st of the month. So that is probably currently already up by the time you're watching this. So down in the description box, you'll find links to the Hella Handmade Creation site as well as their social media so you can see what all is going to be available. We have another huge shop this month. Last month's shop was big because of the Halloween shop. This month is holiday. I guess they're trying to get like ahead of all of the holiday shopping craziness, which isn't a bad idea. So all makers contributed a polish towards their own theme, but many makers also made a polish or two or an item towards the holiday shop. Some of the items are capped, which means they'll be available in limited quantities. If an item you love has a cap, that does mean it risks selling out. So you're gonna wanna shop as close to the opening of the shop as possible so you can make sure it doesn't sell out before you can snag yours. Again, the shop opens on October 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, we have a lot of beautiful polishes to look at today, so let's go ahead and get into the swatches. We're gonna start off with Sassy Sauce Polishes offerings, beginning with Sin-derella. This one's described as having a lightly blue tinted base with blue reflective glitter and large particle pink to purple to gold to green shifting shimmer. It's going to be $13.50 and will be capped at 300 bottles, and it's continuing the shoes theme. So as described, this one does have a very lightly tinted base. It's super sheer, definitely works as a topper, so I will show you what that looks like here in a little bit, but builds up really nicely in 3 coats. In 3 coats, I did have quite a bit of visible nail line, but as I've said before, I'm someone who pretty much always has visible nail line. If a polish doesn't build up to absolute opacity, you will see my nail line. So this is a polish that does show that. Here's what it looks like in 3 coats with a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat on its own on my pointer and middle finger, 1 coat over black on my ring finger and pinky finger, and then on my thumb I showed it in 1 coat over a light blue cream. Wow. I think I like it all 3 ways. Most of the time, these more sheer polishes, I love them so much more layered over something. I love a good combo, but like this looks so ethereal and light and sparkly and fairy-like on its own. It layers beautifully over other colors too, though, whether dark or light. It's just incredible. It's a really, really sparkly, shifty shade. And then for the holiday shop, Sassy Sauce Polish will also have a duo available, so the next 2 polishes are only available together. This first shade is called Reindeer Games, and it is a red jelly with an assortment of sparkling glitters. It's going to be $27 for the pair and will be capped at 200 duos. So this one does have the squishiest, juiciest jelly base, a dream to apply, really gorgeous in 3 coats. Again, with my nail line, I could still see it sometimes, but it's got a really like squishy, juicy jelly base, and with this base, I didn't mind it so much. I feel like the glitters are being a little shy on my camera here, but they were so sparkly and popped in such an incredibly festive way against that red jelly base. So this is 3 coats with a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. I would say for maximum squishiness, I definitely recommend a glitter smoother with this shade and the next shade. It just brings it all together, you know? It not necessary because it's not jam-packed with glitter, but it is a really nice touch. Ooh, I really liked this one, especially. It was sparkly and pretty in the bright lighting, but in lower lighting, like here, that's when those glitters really started to show off. This one was stunning. And the other polish in that duo is called Just Elfin Around. It is a green jelly with an assortment of sparkling glitters. Again, the price for the 2 polishes, they're only available together, is $27, and it will be capped at 200 pairs. This one was a little bit different from Reindeer Games in that the base color was not the same color as the glitters. Like with Reindeer Games, I felt like the tone of the glitters, the tone of the base matched. It was so tonal. Whereas the base of this polish is a little bit more yellow leaning than the glitters are, and I love that little extra contrast there. It just made the glitters pop all the more. I felt like the hollow was also a little bit more noticeable with this shade compared to Reindeer Games. So this is 3 coats with a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. In 3 coats, I did still have a considerable amount of visible nail line. I considered layering it over something, but I just feel like part of the joy and beauty of this polish is that squishy base, and layering it over a green cream is going to take away from that. So I'm going to be on the hunt for a dark yellow leaning green cream. Dark, but not too dark. I don't think I have one of those. But yeah, this one sparkled beautifully in the sun, also stunning in lower lighting. Moving on to all Mixed Up Lacquers. First, we'll take a look at their polish continuing their Granny Hobby series. This is Stab, Strangle, Scoop, Throw, and it's described as having a darkened, vampy purple base with green to blue to pink shifting shimmer and scattered colorful shimmers. It's going to be $13.50, capped at 300 bottles, and is inspired by crocheting. This one had a really nice formula, super full coverage. I got full opacity with this one, surprisingly, in just a couple coats. On my full hand swatch, I did decide to build it up to 3 coats just to see if it deepened up the color, and it did. So I would say 2 to 3 coats. 2 if you like the lighter version, 3 if you like this more deep, there we go, vampy version. So this is 3 coats with a glossy top coat here. The shimmer in this is very powerful. It feels like a larger particle shimmer, so a good amount of the time it kind of takes over the polish and you get to enjoy that base color, but that shimmer is always there. It is always visible on the nail. I found the base color for this to be really unique too. It's like a blackened eggplant, and I feel like I don't see that a whole lot with this blue to green shifty shimmer we had in here. And then for the holiday shop, their offering is 'Tis the Season to Get Crafty. This one is also kind of with the Granny Hobby series, and it has a jelly berry base with green to blue to pink shifting shimmer and scattered colorful shimmers. It's going to be $13.50 and will be capped at 300 bottles. This one also had a really surprisingly opaque formula. I just feel like most of the time Shifty Shimmers need 3 coats, but this one was beautiful in 2. I think I ended up leaving it in 2 for the full hand swatch, and I did wish that I would have added a 3rd coat. So this is 2 coats with a glossy top coat. It's stunning, very even and glowy, and that base is so pretty in 2 coats, but I do have a little bit of visible nail line here in 2 coats, and I think that 3rd coat would have gotten rid of that, or it would have been far less. So I will say this polish and the previous polish we looked at did have a little bit of a fuller formula. I don't want to call it a thick formula because it's not like goopy, and it dried quickly. I didn't add any thinner to my bottles. I never do that before I swatch them on my channel, but it's one that felt like it didn't need, on application, it didn't need a 3rd coat, but I probably would add one anyway. This one I'll note that I decided to put it on as my last polish that swatching day so I could continue wearing it because I really enjoyed the base color. I ended up wearing it for a couple days and I really enjoyed it on my nails. Moving on to Cuticula now, beginning with the polish that is their continuation of their Wings of a Butterfly series. This is called Winging It, and it has a murky teal jelly base with sparkling green pigment, lime to green to blue to purple ultra chrome chameleon flakes, and silver holographic flakes. It's going to be $13.50, and there is no cap on this polish. So if you've used Cuticula's flaky finish polishes before, this was very consistent with what I've used from them in the past. I always recommend their flaky polishes to be built up in 3 coats. I use 3 thin coats, and I always, or in this case at least, I got full opacity. They just have like such a beautiful buildup in 3 coats. So this is what 3 coats looks like with a glossy top coat and some studio lighting. Unfortunately, the next couple polishes I ended up swatching late at night, and there was no light outside at that time. So this is 3 coats with a glossy top coat. I would say glitter smoother is optional for this. It would plump it out. It probably would make it even prettier, but it's not necessary. It looks gorgeous with just a regular glossy top coat. And then here is what it looks like in some lower indirect lighting. This is in my nail swatching room, away from any lighting sources. And then Cuticula's offering for the holiday shop is called Yule Love This. This one has a deep jewel toned wine jelly base with shifting red to orange to green to yellow ultra chrome flakes. It's going to be $13.50. There will not be a cap on this. Okay. You know I already love this, but I am telling you, if you are a red lover, a red polish lover, if you don't feel like you have something similar to this, you'll love this. I was not planning to throw that in there, but you'll love this. You really will. It is so good. It is rich and decadent, and that base is just, it has so much depth. Those flakies have such a beautiful pond effect. This is 3 coats with a glossy top coat. Another one where a glitter smoother is optional, but those flakes are so shifty, and it's one of those flaky polishes that I just want to dive right in. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much to mention there. There's so much glow. Oh my goodness. I can't get this polish off my mind. I got it later than I filmed the intro and outro of this video, so I did not get to include it in my favorites. It is my top pick from the month. From everything I swatched, it is an unforgettable polish. Moving on to by Danny Vianna, we have Saki-Chan. This one is described as being a light purple magnetic with graphite reflective glitters. It's going to be $14 and will be capped at 100 bottles, and it is continuing the Fruits Basket series. So I have been swatching so many magnetics lately that they are all starting to run together. But this one truly stood out. I feel like it's unique. It's different and it's such an interesting combination, and that's something I find myself saying very often about this maker's polishes. And 3 coats on its own without any magnet, I definitely had full opacity. I honestly probably had opacity in 2 without a magnet, but using the bar magnet, I did have visible nail line with this in 3 coats. So if that's not something you like, you'll want to pair it with a darker base. With a velvet effect, I definitely had full opacity in 2 to 3 coats. So this is 3 coats with a glossy top coat in some sunlight. This does have reflective glitter, but it's not jam-packed with reflective glitter. Oh, this is unmagnetized, by the way, in 2 coats. It does have reflective glitter, but it doesn't have so much reflective glitter that I feel like it warrants a glitter smoothing top coat. It couldn't hurt. It's only going to give you a glossier finish, but I know personally with magnetics, I always skip that step if I can because it just feels like it takes so long anyway. And then here is what it looks like inside near a window. This one has a really interesting shift from that like cooler purple, grayed out purple, to a pretty like rosy pink. And then their other polish towards the Fruits Basket series is called Witch's Curse. It has a black base with holographic pigment and a more subtle silver magnetic holographic effect. It's going to be $14 and will be capped at 100 bottles. So this one has a fun, squishy, juicy jelly base. It says that the magnetic pigment is subtle. I feel like it was more subtle for sure than the last shade we looked at, but depending on how you magnetize it, it's pretty prominent. So this one built up to full opacity for me in 3 coats when it was not magnetized. And I could see a little bit of my visible nail line showing through using the bar magnet as shown here. If you velvetize, as shown on the middle and ring fingers, then you should still have full opacity in 3 coats unless your nails are super, super long. So 3 coats with a glossy top coat shown here, middle and ring finger with a horseshoe magnet, pointer and pinky with a bar magnet, and thumb is unmagnetized. This one's beautiful any way you wear it. It's really pretty unmagnetized, I thought. I liked that silver shimmer. I thought it was different, but I do prefer it with the velvet technique. I feel like with the bar magnet, it's a little more subtle than I'd like, although it does show off the hollow, which it's got some beautiful hollow in there. And this is what it looks like in 3 coats with a glossy top coat inside near a window, so lower natural lighting. And for the holiday shop, by Danny Vianna is offering a cute little set, including this polish and the bag shown on the screen here. So they together will be $26 and it will be capped at $50 for the set. The polish is called Pines and Poinsettia, which has a green jelly base with gold micro holographic glitters and a mix of red to orange iridescent flakes and red metallic shreds. So this one does have a super squishy but very even green jelly base. It's gorgeous when built up on its own, but it will have visible nail line, I think, for most. This is 3 coats here, and you'll see my visible nail line is quite prominent. So I did want to show you what it looks like layered over a green cream in case that is more your style. This was really beautiful, but honestly, I love the amount of flakes you get with it in 3 coats. Like, I love that pond effect. So I think I would probably try to find a really opaque green cream and maybe do 2 coats of the Flaky by Danny Vianna. But anyway, this is 3 coats with a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat in some sunlight. You can see my visible nail line is very prominent. It kind of looks like a wash of green color across my nails. And I think the different colors in here are really, really fun. Did I mention I put a glitter smoother with this one? Because I did. Those flakies, some of them are super chunky and do not lay flat on the nails, so you will want a glitter smoother to smooth them out. But yeah, I love the combo of colors. It just was really shiny and bright. this holographic glitters. It was a really playful holiday festive mani. Coloristic Carol is continuing their Witching Hour series with Sea Witch. This one has a royal blue Crelly base with UCC flakes and silver hollow flakes. It's going to be $13.50 and will be capped at 200 bottles. This one was very opaque. It does have a Crelly base, but it is packed with those UCC flakes. So much so that it built up to full opacity for me in a couple coats. I was kind of surprised about that, but there are a lot of flakies in here. Maybe like longer nail links will want that third coat, but I didn't have any visible nail line. I felt like it matched what I saw in the bottle, so I left it at 2. But this is 2 coats with a glossy top coat. You're not going to need a glitter smoother for this. It's only flakes and they lay down very flat on the nails. This was such a fun polish, especially once I took it out in the sun and got to see how all of those hollow flakies sparkle in the bright lighting. That blue base seems to light up, and then the flakies, the shifting flakies are like purple, sometimes blue, a little bit of red in there, so they contrast nicely with the base as well. And the next 2 shades we're going to look at are available as a duo only. Together they are $24 and there will be a 100 duo cap. They are part of the holiday shop, so they're festive. This first shade is called Sleigh What, and it is a white Crelly with red and green metallic shreds, hollow micro glitter, stars, snowflakes, and Christmas trees. I love Coloristic Carol's white Crellys. All her Crellys, but especially her white Crellys. They're just very even and smooth. They're always so easy to apply, and they dry down to this really plump and squishy finish. She just has that formula down. And this was a really fun, festive, but like out there mix with the stars and the trees. And then all of those metallic shreds. So this is 3 coats with a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat. I would recommend a glitter smoother for this one because it has those larger funky shaped glitters plus the shreds. Like some of them don't lay completely flat on the nail, but with a glitter smoother it smoothed out just fine. Yeah, this one's really playful. Look at that snowflake on my pointer finger. It was just so fun to wear. Like, I see this and I just imagine all of the Skittle possibilities. If you know, you know. Like, I love a white Crelly for a Skittle, and this would be such a great staple for any festive Skittle. And the other polish in that duo is called Oh Snow You Didn't. This one has a clear base with red and green metallic shreds, hollow micro glitter, stars, snowflakes, and Christmas trees. So this is the same polish as Sleigh What, but minus the white Crelly base. So this is the topper version. You can see those glitters came out real easy. This is 1 coat over black, and that was my preferred way to wear it. I felt like over black you got to see all of the colors in this polish. The hollow popped so beautifully, and it like showed off all the funky glitters in here. But I did show it over red for my full hand swatch. I kind of regret that, although it was like a darker red than the red shreds in here. It concealed the red glitters a little bit. But anyway, this is 1 coat of Oh Snow You Didn't over red cream. Really fun pairing. I had to do a little bit of placement with this polish and the last one, but I didn't really have to do a lot of fishing. minimal fishing. The glitters came out pretty easily. I want to say a few of them were maybe stuck to the side of the bottle a little bit, but I shook it up. I didn't even use my pro shaker. I just shook it up and was able to get them out on my brush no problem. Moving on to Moonshine Manny's offering. They're continuing their Dragon series with Smaug. Probably mispronouncing that. This is described as being a smoky charcoal glowing with red to copper to gold iridescent and multi-chrome shimmers, lime to gold to aqua magnetic shimmer, hollow microflakies, and bronze to gold multi-chrome microflakies. It's a lot. This is going to be $13.50 and capped at $200. This was fully opaque magnetized and unmagnetized in 2 coats. Maybe if your nails are very long, you might need a 3rd coat for this one, but I had it opaque in 2 beautiful magnetized, beautiful unmagnetized. This color combination to me just gives Thanksgiving. Like I'm like past the cranberry sauce. Anyway, this is 2 coats. Middle and ring finger are with a horseshoe magnet. Pointer and pinky are with a cat eye, a bar magnet, and then thumb is unmagnetized. Another one you just can't go wrong. It's beautiful in every magnetic style. The base feels very like, it's described as being a charcoal, but it felt like a cool brown on the nails. And most of the time I saw like a red glow from that shimmer and then a gold glow from the magnetic pigment. It was a really interesting, funky, warm, autumn, cozy combination. So those are all the items I have to share with you that will be available in October's Hella Handmade Creations shop. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Which of these caught your eye? Shout out to all of Sassy Sauce Polish's offerings. If I hadn't got these in PR, I would 100% be buying them myself. They are gorgeous. The red and green I will absolutely be wearing in December this year. And Sin-derella has every color in it. And so much reflective sparkle, and the formula was perfect. This time of year gets me every single year. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!